Stephen Wallace is a former director of the FAA's Office of Accident Investigation. He joins us from Washington this morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Harry.
I don't want to speculate on cause, but I just want to go through a couple of the things we know for sure. This plane ended up on a slope, cut out about a 100-yard gash in the terrain there. The fuselage separated from the cockpit, the left wing partially torn off. There was no fire. No passengers were ejected. From those pieces of information, what can we at least think?
Well, we can think that the airplane was under control. That is to say that it was probably, the pilot had not lost control of the aircraft, like stalled the aircraft where it would have gone in more vertically because of a long horizontal debris path, and the fact that people survived indicates that the airplane was under some level of control as opposed to being upset or stalled.
Right. There is some speculation and some talk already from Alaska about something called CFIT, Controlled Flight into Terrain. Can you explain what that is?
Yes, CFIT is a term used for just exactly what I described, and that is that the airplane was not out of control, but rather due to some error, and this most typically happens in instrument flight where the visibility is restricted, some procedural error, the crew, or there's some error that causes the airplane to strike an obstacle or the terrain or the water, but it is not, but it's in basically, some investigators say if the wings are level, it's a CFIT.
And some speculation also that the idea that because the weather was certainly dicey, it is possible, even with a pilot with as much experience as this guy had, that he may have become disoriented in the clouds.
Well, I spoke with some people familiar with the Alaskan bush flying community. This pilot was highly, highly experienced and respected. He was a retired Alaska Airlines captain who had been flying in the bush for many years. He was very respected, and I understand even gave lectures on marginal weather flying. So as Chairman Hersman of the NTSB said, the investigation is just starting. Everything is on the table.
Sure. One of the other facts that's come out is this amazing number of small plane accidents that happen in Alaska. It's more than 1 in 5 nationwide, and that is just because there are no roads and the only way to get from point A to point B so often is in airplanes?
Well, I think it's important to separate out the bulk of the accidents in Alaska as opposed to those which involve fatalities, because the challenging environment in Alaska, where off-airport landings are common, whether it be in lakes where you could always hit a submerged log or something, or on a gravel bar or just an unimproved strip, there are a very high number of accidents in Alaska where the airplane is damaged substantially, so it's classified as an accident, and there are no injuries at all. That happens way more in Alaska than in the U.S., so that sort of skews the data. If you look at the fatal numbers, they're not nearly, there's not that disparity as compared to the lower 48.
Right. Very interesting. Stephen Wallace, appreciate your expertise this morning. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You bet.